Hey guys, Swisher Homestead here. Welcome to the farm. Alright, so if you haven't, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button down below, and the thumbs up to make sure that we get pushed out there a little bit more so people get to watch us. Man, I'm telling you. If you don't know us, me and Amy, I'm a retired chef, and Amy got offered a job in Tennessee, and we moved up here, and the agreement was if we moved up here, that I would get my farm, because that's what I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to have a farm that I could grow our own food, we can grow our own livestock, and I can learn a part of the business that I really didn't know as much about. Now, we've been out here for 3 years now. Gotta say, it was probably the best move we ever did. Is farm work a lot of work? Yes, farm work is a lot of work. Is it worth it? I love it. You know, it's got its days. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's got its days. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about what we have to keep up with on the farm during winter. So as you guys know, we have a wood stove. That's how we keep our tiny home warm. A couple of you guys out there have had problems with your wood stove. You said it's not getting enough oxygen, it's not getting enough air. Well, let me tell you, I went in and I did some research for you, and I found out the trick to have that stop. I know what's going on. All right. So a couple of you saying, oh, you got to keep the door prop open on your wood stove, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. On our wood stove, which is 2,000 square foot, American Stove is a builder. It's out here in Tennessee. And I know some of you have got that out there, and you're probably having a problem with not enough airflow getting to your fire. Guess what? Figured out, did some research, messed around with mine just to try to help you guys out. And you guys ready for the snippet of trick? Take that handle you got, all right, and reverse that handle out a little bit. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to draw that seal off of your wall or your steel, but it's not going to allow the ash to come out, but it will allow the oxygen to get in. So once you get that set up perfect, it's going to take you a couple times, but once you get that set up perfect, guess what, guys? It's fixed. It will actually be fixed, and you won't have to worry about it no more. So some of you complainers out there are complaining my wood stove isn't working right, blah, 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 blah. That's what you need to do. I did it on mine, and you could do it on yours. Now, if you'd like to find out about the install and how we did our stack and everything, you can look up over here or right here, and Amy will put that in for you. But yeah, I'm telling you, you know, you guys, you know, I read some of the comments, I read some questions, and I find out, and I do some research, and I try to find out for you. If you can't figure it out, I'll figure it out for you, and I figured it out. I hope this helps you out on your wood stove. Never get discouraged. That is a heat source. We must have it during the winter time. Now, some of you may or may not know, we live up pretty much on the top of a mountain. So we're up here pretty high. And last night, let me tell you, them storms were blowing through last night. About 2:30 I woke up, and the wind was howling. And I mean howling. Now, if you look back into a prior video of us clearing our land, there's one thing I wish I never would have done, but I did it for a reason, was clearing out the one section of trees on the hillside, because that is a barrier for the wind, and I cleared it out. My bad. That's all right. It's cleared. I cleared it out because we wanted to build a house to be able to look over and see the other hillsides of the mountains. That's why we did it. Well, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did, and it is what it is. I can't go back now. It would take me 100 years getting them trees planted back there and get it back up. But I am going to plant some stuff back there as a wind block area for that pasture area. But right now, it's what we got is what we got. So let's get on to the wood that you use in your wood stove. All right, so I found out that pine is not the best alternative for a wood stove. One is because of how quick it builds up the creosote from the sap, and yes, it does burn. It does burn well. Most pine does burn well. You ever seen a house burn down? It's pretty much all pine, some oak, and some furniture, and hopefully nobody. But anyway, So what I'm getting to is I went out and I had gotten three different styles ricks of wood. All right. I got a rick of wood, which is a block wood, which you can get from a mill that mills oak logs for building either homes or furniture. So I got one rick of that. Then I got a rick of really, really 2-year, almost 3-year dry wood that I've had a lot of problems with. And then I got a 2-year rick of regular. Now all this stuff is a mixed wood. It's got oak, hickory, and it's got walnut in it. So there's a mixture of everything in all of these, all right, except for the oak one. The oak one is oak. I think I've gotten like 2 pieces of hickory out of the oak. I don't know why, that's strange, but I did. So here's what I come to find out, right? So I bought a rick of the block wood cut that was kiln dried at the factory that they build log homes and use oak logs to build their homes. And they have a sawmill there, and I took all the block wood and I grabbed up one rick of that and brought that home. And there's pluses and minuses to it. The plus is that the stuff burns forever. I mean, I can put a block of wood in our wood stove at 11 o'clock and wake up at 6 and still have about 1/8 of that block still there. So that's the plus about the block. Now another plus is it's been kiln dried. So you know it's going to be dry. So you don't have to worry about the moisture and everything in it. Now there's a problem with that. The problem with that is the stuff, when you put it outside, it collects moisture. So you got to be careful, make sure you keep it wrapped up. When you get sunny days, pull it off, let the sun get to it and warm up the wood a little. But yeah, that was being the only problem, is that it does draw moisture into the wood. I have found that out. Now let's talk about the super dry wood that's about 3 years old. Now I went down and we found this guy here locally, and he said my wood's about 3 years old. It's dried. I said, all right, I bought a rick of that from him. I got it here. Splitting it was no problem because he only half split the logs. He didn't quarter split it like I like to have. I like to have the wood quarter split. It burns better, and it's not so bulky in that wood stove, because some of those logs are pretty big, man. Some of them logs are probably, I don't know, 2 foot around. Sometimes 3 foot around. That they've only half blocked them, and then I have to quarter block them or eighth block them. And what I mean by eighth block is take an axe and cut it in 3 or 4 pieces from the half cut that they did. So it's basically they cut the log in half, and then I cut the half into 3 or 4 pieces, so on and so forth. Now, let's talk about the problems with this. All right, so the problems with that is that it's so dry and it burns so fast that I actually think it burns too fast for us. So I don't think I'll be getting that again. I mean, if it's the last resort, I will. Now, trust me, I've got wood on my property, but that entails me cutting down trees. Most of my property has been thinned out already and done. We did that when we first got here. And you can look at some of the first videos we did when we were here. But the other problem is 90% of our property that we cleared and maintained was all pine. There was very little oak on our property. So at that point, we kind of were in a situation where we had bountiful amounts. Now, I do have a lot of cedar around. We do burn cedar in our wood stove. We don't burn lots, but we do periodically. For every 4 logs, we'll burn 1 log of cedar. We kind of mix it up, keep that mix up. Now, getting into the older wood, it's dry, it burns super fast, but one other problem is too, is that it's got a lot of bugs, and I mean a lot of bugs. So I don't like bringing something as infested into my house, and then your house gets infested with the stuff. So I try to keep that stuff outside, but there's always stuff on the logs. There's, you know, I've seen ants on the logs, I've seen spiders on the logs, I've seen what do they call them, some kind of wood beetle on the logs. I've seen all this stuff, and it's not something I want brought into my house. Now, we had some 1.5 year old wood, all right? You want to have at least 1 year to 1.5 years to have a spot on good piece of oak or walnut or hickory to get the value out of it that you're going to need for burning. I've noticed that 1, it burns longer. 2, it doesn't burn up as fast. And 3, it doesn't hold the content of the bugs that the older wood would hold. But that's strictly your preference. You know, if that's what you want, that's what you want. I prefer not to bring that into our house. So, but with that, I have learned a couple more things this year. Now, this is our 3rd year using our wood stove. It has been a godsend. It heats the house up. It's so nice to, you know, I stoke the fire first thing in the morning. I throw 1 block on. I'm good until probably about 11 o'clock in the afternoon. If it's cold out. Like right now, we had the temperatures yesterday were at 61. It is now 39. The high today is going to be about 42. And the low tonight is going to be in the 20s. So, why not? We get a fire started now, and we'll get going. So, well, guys, don't forget, hit that like button, that subscribe button. I want to say thank you very much. Just remember, when you subscribe to our channel, you subscribe to be part of our family. We're blessed, God-loving people, and I'll tell you right now, okay? If you're going to do this, and you're having problems with your wood stove, and it's a 2,000 square foot stove that you bought from U.S. Stove, this is the unit that if you're saying you had a problem with it, how to fix it. Just unwind that thing, push the door in, lock it, and you push on it with your finger and you'll see it moves just a little bit. That gives you air circulation, so it's spot on for you. Alright guys, so we were talking about having problems with how you aren't getting enough airflow to this 200 square foot American Stove Company wood stove that we have. A couple of you out there have the same exact ones. Now what you're going to do is you're going to unlock it right here, and you're going to wind it in, and as you wind it in, you're going to loosen the tension on it. Alright, that's going to, hear that? That's going to give you your airflow. Now once you get it going and it's started and it's running good, then all you're going to do is you're going to sit here and you're going to wind it back. I went the wrong direction. And then you're going to put it up and you're going to lock it in. See, there's nothing, no play in it. That's how you can fix your airflow problem. Like I always say, make sure that this is pulled all the way out, and make sure that you always use your thermometer. Should be right in the yellow, and that should be turned 45 degrees. So that tidbit of a little info for you to help you out. Boy, you know what I gotta do now? I gotta go cut some firewood. I gotta get prepared. We got a cold week coming up, and I don't like having to do firewood every day, so I like to do enough for 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week, and then I don't have to worry about it for a week. We will be going and picking up another rick of firewood. We'll be doing that maybe Sunday, I'm thinking. And don't forget, if you guys haven't gone to our Facebook page, Swisher Family Farm, you need to get there, because we got a new addition coming to the house. We got a new addition, and it's on there, and if you're lucky enough, you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright guys, well at that point, I gotta go cut some wood. I'm in the truck, it's cold out. I didn't want to stand outside and do this video. I got my truck running right now. It's about 46 degrees outside right now. I gotta get out there. I gotta cut some wood up and get it all stacked and get back in the house. Because today, for me, is bacon day. And there'll be some videos coming up. At that point, God bless. We love you. Don't forget, hit that subscribe and that like button. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.